Let us pimp your day. Yana here.
And Christina here.
And this is your Pimp Daily Dose for August 31st, brought to you by Electronic Arts at GAMESCOM 2011. Continuing with our EA GamesCon coverage this week, we finally get to what will be one of the biggest games of the year, Battlefield 3.
And boom shakalaka, we pump up the jam with NBA Jam On Fire Edition.
Another highlight, well, for me anyway, at this year's GamesCon was the epic Battlefield 3, a game that is sure to be on most Best of 2011 lists. PiMP TV participated in the 64 multiplayer PC sessions on the show floor, whilst getting a look at the co-op mode on the PS3. As expected, the PC version looks and plays fantastic. Definitely the jewel in the crown, while the PS3 version plays great, but maybe doesn't look quite as good graphically. But hey, it's still going to kick ass. Unfortunately, there were no demos on Xbox. But this year also sees the return of jets, as you can take to the cockpit and rain havoc from above, while Andy McNabb's contribution is obvious, from the way the soldiers move to the way they interact and talk. Of course, all this is powered by the Frostbite 2 engine, allowing DICE and EA to create a host of content in the most authentic manner. And it definitely shows. Part of this is a new animation engine within Frostbite for lifelike movements, dynamic lighting, and large-scale destruction. Here is DICE General Manager Carl Troedsen talking with PiMP TV about the game.
Well, there's a lot of things that is new with Battlefield 3, I would say. Jets is definitely one of the things. The return of jets, we like to call it, since they were in Battlefield 2, that came out already back in 2005. But Battlefield 3 is a lot of things, but it's absolutely first and foremost the biggest and best Battlefield game we have ever built at DICE. And what I mean by that is, like, we both have single player, co-op and multiplayer in the base product. Then we have like smaller pieces of new features and new innovation, like the jets, like the 64-player maps on PC, etc.
So, I mean, obviously this year it seems like a real shootout between Battlefield and Modern Warfare 3. So, I mean, do you look at what they do and try and improve on that? Or, you know, like what do you guys sort of take from that to, you know, not to, you know, copy and put into your game, but what do you do to try and improve your own, you know, your own product?
Well, as a game developer and us being specialized in the FPS genre, of course we play all the games out there. But I mean, it's more of keeping up to date what people are doing, what are the trends, what are the improvements, etc. And as I bet all developers here do. In our case, we're very focused on building a true Battlefield game, so we are not too concerned with what they're doing, you know, looking at their features. We're building on the core brand pillars of Battlefield, meaning that it's large open environments, there's going to be tons of vehicles, it's a focus on team play, and then we also have the all-out destruction in there. I mean, they're doing good stuff as well, but we're focusing on building the best game based on the Battlefield core values.
For the deuce! Throw down the monster root! Razzle dazzle!
He's on fire! Well, the latest version of NBA Jam is on fire. It's an arcade classic, and even if you're not a basketball fan, NBA Jam is highly accessible. In this latest version, the developers have tried to listen to the fans and incorporate as much as possible all the features fans have asked for. One of those is tag mode, meaning players now control both players on their team instead of controlling one and playing with an AI teammate. Players are engaged in every play, every step of the way, which makes his versions much more fun to play. In terms of gameplay, well, it's everything you expect NBA Jam to be. No much has changed from the classic style that helped to make its name, which is one of the draws. Also introduced in On Fire Edition is the online co-op mode and the online arena, allowing you to take on the best of the best around the world. But the dev team have made subtle improvements to the play and art style to bring it to the modern day, and from our time playing the game, it was a highly satisfying experience and one fan should be very happy with. His creative director Trey Smith speaking with PiMP TV about some of the feedback they received and what they incorporated at the exclusive EA Sports Party in the UK.
You mentioned a lot that you had a lot of feedback from the previous game. And so just kind of interested, what were some of the best and what were some of the worst, and how did you incorporate them into the game?
Well, I think the best was really just tag mode is one of those game mode things where I made the call early on last go around. We're going to be true to the original. You can only control the player that you select, and that's what we're going to do. And one of the first things we did for this version, on Fire Edition, was pop tag mode in. And it's more difficult than just flipping a switch, but once we got it in and we played, it was one of those things where like, oh, that's so much better. It really is when you're playing with an AI teammate, being able to switch back and forth because you're engaged every single moment of play. And that was one of the features that immediately when fans were playing it, they're just like, I can't believe this doesn't have tag mode. Why doesn't it have tag mode? Like all of the things, tag mode. I was like, okay, tag mode. But yeah, fans were bang on with that. Some of the things that they wanted that we didn't want to, I don't know. I think every idea has merit. I think if anybody wants something, I think it's something that we have to at least look at and look into. I think a big piece of feedback that I'm excited that we listen to, and it's not just me, it's just the studio, is the fact that this is going to be a digital download on Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network for €13 or for £10 or $15 in the States or 1,200 Microsoft points. I mean, price point is obviously a real sensitive thing with gamers, and we were excited to be able to drop the remix stuff, the boss battles and all that stuff from the game, focus on the 2-on-2 experience, and then bring it out at that price. Hopefully it means we get a lot more people to show up.
And that's your PiMP Daily Dose for August 31st.
Go to the PiMP Joypad channel for the uncut interviews with Carl Trodson, including what he had to say about Modern Warfare 3 and NBA James Trade Smith, or check them out at www.pimp.tv.
Join us again tomorrow for another GamesCon look at Mass Effect 3 and Grand Slam Tennis 2.
Until then,